Hey everyone, I hope all is well. Just wanted to get started here and connect with my TikTok community. I hope you guys are doing good. I know I haven't been on here in a while, so I wanted to make sure that I did get here and give you guys a little bit of TLC for your hair because I got a job for you today. I got a job. When you guys want to have the best hair possible, it takes work. It takes a little bit of commitment. So I got a little bit of a job for y'all today. So if you don't know who I am, my name is LaRon Quarles, and I am the owner of SPO Hair Loss in Pleasantville, New Jersey. I am a certified trichologist and hair loss specialist and hair loss practitioner. I have been a hairstylist since 1987. I went through the high school program in the Atlantic City area of New Jersey, so I have been a hairstylist for many years. However, I became a certified trichologist in 2016, and I have been committed to helping everyone regrow or grow their hair. And I work in conjunction with a dermatologist, your dermatologist. If you've been to any dermatologist, I don't mind even if you are working with a naturopath or a dietitian. However, there are things specific that a trichologist is going to need for you to do even though you have gone to a dermatologist. So I just wanted to get that out the way. I currently have my trichology center and salon in Pleasantville, New Jersey. So there are three things that I do for my community, for my clients. I help men, women, and children in one of three ways. I can help you identify why you are losing your hair. I can also help you restore your hair if you are willing to give it a shot and grow your hair back. And then also, if I can't help you restore your hair, I can help you replace it with hair replacement. Now, many people don't know what that is. If you get a chance to go on some of my TikTok videos or along my hair page on the hair loss and wellness page, you can scroll down and see a lot of hair replacement videos because often I have a lot of men, a lot of women who are not able to get their hair back because they may have waited too long. They may have some illnesses or some issues going on where they cannot grow their hair back. So often having non-surgical hair replacement is the last option. So if you guys ever need any assistance, if your hair is thinning, breaking, falling out, it's coming out in spots, it came out on the edges, it's coming out in the back, if it's just growing thin in the crown, there is assistance. However, you have to reach out to a professional. I consider myself a professional. I have been certified to examine, to service you. I do not say diagnose and treat because I am not a medical professional and medical professionals diagnose and treat. So I work with your dermatologist and I am their support staff. So if there are things that you find out from your dermatologist, we help support the dermatologist on that end. Your dermatologist can give you biopsies, they can give you intralesional steroid shots, they can give you topical steroids like clobetasol and different things like that. They can give you uh, drug therapies to help your hair grow back, like metformin. There's one with a T. I don't know how to say all that kind of stuff, but when you are looking for answers and if you are looking for long term progress, usually you can't work with your dermatologist for 3 months, 6 months to a year with ongoing treatment and services. You can work with a trichologist because we'll help you with your nutrition, we'll help you evaluate your diet and lifestyle. We put some things together for you in a treatment plan or a protocol, and we will help you get your hair back. So I know that is a whole lot, but I wanted to just let you guys know where I am, what it is that I do, and how I serve everyone's needs. My typical market are women over 40, over 50. I usually do not work with a general young market. I usually work with people who look similar to me because I am familiar with the experience of women who are over 50. I'm 56, so I understand what it is to be 56, to be going through menopause and deal with grandkids and deal with aged parents, and then you're taking care of adult children in your household, and you have kids in college, and then you're working, and you're about to retire. I understand that demographic and their needs, so that's usually the demographic I'm familiar with. But I will say this, it doesn't matter if you're a man, if you're a woman, if you're a child, if you have blood in your veins and you have hair or you had hair on top of your head and you've lost it, you're having trouble with it, I can literally assist anyone. But my general market are women over 50 who have a specific need, because I understand when you're going through medication, you're going through diabetes, you have hyperlipidemia, you have thyroid issues, you're going through menopause. Like, I understand all that. So I just want to let you know, if you have questions, you can ask me anything, because I'm going to just get into a few things, because I like to come on here pretty often just to talk with you all about a relevant subject. And today I wanted to just talk to you about the new information that came out with Robert Kennedy Jr. He was talking about the fact that the FDA is going to be removing a lot of red food coloring, yellow food coloring, blue food coloring from our food. And I have something that I need to ask you guys so that you have a commitment to yourselves. As a trichologist, usually what I do is, when a client reaches me, they give me their information. I usually ask for a food diary. In that food diary, I'm looking for specific things: the amount of fresh food you eat, the type of food you eat. Is it processed? Is it frozen? How is it prepared? Is the food conducive to your blood type? I like to see what it is that you're consuming. So when you do come to me and you get your consultation and I inspect your scalp and you describe to me what is going on with your scalp's in pain, it's flaking, it's irritated. I can thank you for my heart. I can understand why your scalp looks the way it does and why your hair is growing the way it is growing based on what it is that you're eating. So I have something to ask you, and I'm going to ask it at the end of our presentation. And if you have any questions, please let me know, because I am here just to answer anything, but I just wanted to talk about something specific. So I started out with my introduction, let you know where we're located, let you know that I help in one of three ways. I also wanted to say thank you so much for the hearts. That for beauty professionals, if you want to learn how to be a trichologist, if you want to learn how to be a hair loss practitioner, if you want to add these types of services to your list of offerings, if you currently do any type of beauty services, but you want to add health and wellness and trichology and holistic hair loss practicing to your business, we also service you for education. We have education available on our education platform. So if you visit the link that is going across the screen right now, all you have to do is go to https linktree.hairlosscenternj. You'll find out all of my information for my educational platform. If you happen to go to my bio here on TikTok, you can always go to my bio, tap the link, and you can scroll down and you'll see more information about my education platform. Because what it is that I do cannot be held secret, it cannot be kept in a vacuum. We are not gatekeepers, we're educators. And we need more beauty professionals to learn the skill that I am offering right now, because we need more beauty professionals to be able to help more people who are having hair loss and scalp issues. Hi, good afternoon, Miss Tyra. How are you? I thank you for being here today. If you can share this out with a good girlfriend, your mom, your sister, your neighbor, let them know that there is help available, because many people do not know that there's help available. So for you guys on TikTok, if you need any information, if you need information about what it is that I do, this is my platform. All you have to do is tap this link here, tap the link, tap the link. Let me see, I can't do this backwards. I'm sorry. Tap the link and you'll connect with me here and my page will come up. And anytime you need me for anything, all of my information is here and you can connect with me. You can find out a little bit about some of the products that I talk about on all of my Zoom calls. If you are a beauty professional, you can join me here to learn how to advance your business and grow your business. And then for beauty professionals, all of my beauty professional information is here at the bottom. If you want to schedule an appointment with me to talk more about your hair loss or to receive hair replacement, all you have to do is just tap this link here. Now for you guys, this link that's scrolling across the bottom in the yellow, when you do tap on that, you're going to arrive at this link here. And any way you need to get in touch with me for any reason, if you want to grow your business, any type of business that you have, if you want to grow your business, I can help you with that. If you're a beauty professional, I can help you grow your business. If you want to know the 4 must-haves and the products that I recommend to help you during stress and to manage your hair loss, you can tap here. If you want to learn more about how to fix your insulin resistance, which is one of the keys that I'm going to focus on today, one of the keys that prevents a lot of us from growing our hair well is because we're dealing with so much insulin resistance, high A1C, high glucose, and diabetes. Then I have products here for you. I have videos, I have before and afters, I have everything here. If you want to learn how to connect with me to talk to me about your hair loss, all you have to do is click on the 15-minute regrow your hair back consultation. If you would like to learn how can you get hair replacement of any type, whether it's a cranial prosthesis, it's a top unit, it's a lace unit, if you just want a frontal, if you want braids and you have no edges, if there's anything humanly possible, if you want to learn how to purchase a non-surgical hair replacement unit in the mail, this is where you go. You go here, you schedule your 20-minute hair replacement consultation, and then that's it. And like I said, for beauty professionals, if you want to learn more about how to become a hair loss practitioner, I have all of that information on my link. So I wanted to get all of that out the way because routinely people ask me, do I have education? Do I have this? Do I have that? And all you have to do is just go straight to my link. So great. Oh, thank you, Ms. Tyra. You said this is great information being shared by you. I have started the items you told me to get. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. So I want to tell you guys about a story that I had the other day. Now, TikTok, again, I am in Pleasantville, New Jersey, and I do virtual consultations when someone wants to connect with me and they want to know how they can possibly regrow their hair. What I usually do is I invite everyone to go here because you can't get to me, you can't talk to me without scheduling a visit. That gets you in my database so that I can connect with you and stay connected for the long haul. So if you choose to come in for a consultation in a month, 2 months, 6 months, next year, your information is being in my database. I can let you know some new offers. I can send you some how-tos, some videos, some brief information. If you would like to stay connected with me, you schedule a 15-minute consultation and you will not be committed. You'll get to ask me some questions. I'll get to share with you what it is that we do, how we do business, whether you want to come in person or work with us virtually. That's what you do. I do get a lot of inboxes. I do get a lot of messages. However, people usually don't return their messages. They don't look at their messages. And there's nothing that I can do in a message. For me as a hair loss professional, I need to see you. I need to see you on a video call. I need to be able to talk with you, whether we're on a Zoom, a Skype, or WhatsApp, whatever. So I urge everyone, if you ask me questions, I need to see you on a video call. Everyone will say, well, what can you give me for edges? I have no idea. I don't know. Why don't you jump on a call with me, then we can talk more. Because everyone with edges issues, it's never that simple. So again, if you guys have any questions, I know I have 9 people here on my live. If you have any questions, you can ask, and I'm going to be flipping back and forth from Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook because I'm on 3 platforms there, and then I'm also here on TikTok. So if you guys have any questions, you let me know. So Ken said hands on. I have a link here. If you want to get to me and you want a hands-on appointment, the first thing you do is start with a 15-minute call. That's how you would connect with me. All you have to do is reach my link. The link is available by tapping this link here. It'll take you to my bio. Once you get to the bio, you tap on the link and this will appear, and then you can connect with me first here by starting with a 15-minute call. Yes, Miss Teresa, I do offer treatments for the scalp. However, everyone must begin with a consultation. So whether you want to come in just for salon treatments, because a lot of people love my salon treatments, the scalp treatment is almost an hour before you even get your hair done because it involves light therapy, energy therapy, it involves detoxification, massage, sometimes dermal rolling. It involves quite a few things. However, I never know what type of service you need. So we always start out with a consultation to see what it is that you need, and we get you prepared and let you know what the investment will be, how long you want to have them done, or how often, should I say. Some people start out with 1, some people do 3. We give a discount on 6, but a lot of my ladies have conditions where they need to be seen regularly. You can almost never help a client with just 1 scalp treatment. Usually my clients buy a series of them. But yes, ma'am, we do offer scalp treatments. So, Miss Kinkin, if you want to have a face to face, you have to start out with a 15 because often I will find that people can have their questions answered quickly. Some people need more and they need to be seen in person. I may be able to see you virtually, but everyone has to start out with a 15-minute call. So I want to just go again. I want to go back to what it is I was talking about with these food additives. Now, I know you guys probably don't know anything about it, but on TV the other day, on TV the other day, I'm just gonna pull this up. You guys can't see it, but this is from the other day. Let's see if I can pull this up. The FDA came out with these food additives and how they were going to remove these food additives from all of our food. Now, I'm not sure YouTube with these ads. Lord have mercy. Can I just get to the video? Come on. All right. Let me see.
Deputy Commissioner for Human Supply, and today we are delivering on that promise.
So just listen for a moment.
To be clear, the transition from petroleum-based food dyes to natural ingredient food dyes will not increase food prices. We know that from other countries that have already made the transition. It's not an opinion. Today's announcement fulfills the administration's promise to use both gold standard science and common sense. For the last 50 years, we have been running one of the largest uncontrolled scientific experiments in the world on our nation's children without their consent. And today, we are removing these petroleum-based chemicals from their food supply. In summary, we are simply asking American food companies to replace petroleum-based food dyes with natural ingredients for American children, just as they already do for children in other countries. American children deserve good health. Thank you.
Yes, Miss Sandra, you are right. We're the only country still using harmful food coloring in our products. And as you know, the US can't even send their products to other countries because other countries know we add harmful food additives to our foods, to our meats. The reason why I am here right now is to just share with you all. I only have 2 people here on TikTok. Hopefully, it'll grow once I go into the 4 must-haves to have great hair and great health. The one good thing the one thing about the food that we eat is it's not even really food. It's not food. It's it used to be food. Then you have the food with a whole bunch of additives. They have sugar, high fructose, they have food coloring, red, yellow, blue. There are so many food additives, and all of these food additives, high fructose, agave, syrups, everything that's added to the food, all these food colorings and food dyes. What I want to share with you is, as a trichologist, I know this is a little scientific and it gets a little deep. The more food you eat that's processed, the worse it is for your liver because your liver has to break this down. Now, I always ask everyone if you can eat real food in the morning, don't go to Wawa, don't go to McDonald's, don't go out and get your food. Don't get food that's prepared for you because food that's prepared for you is made with enriched wheat flour, added sugar, added food, added ingredients that have added vitamins in it, enriched iron, enriched this, enriched vitamin D. Eat real food. Make yourself a smoothie, which is frozen food or fresh food with the milk of your choice. Add some protein, a protein powder. I don't care if it's peanut butter, if it's nuts, a protein powder. Add something to it and eat it at home. Make yourself something at home. Make yourself a an avocado sandwich with crackers. Anything that's a protein that you didn't have to take out of a box or a bag, because all of this protein messes with our liver metabolism. And another thing that I want to share with you all is, as a trichologist, when I meet with people, I can always tell who's eating a lot of processed food. And you want to know why? When I see the clients, I can see on their scalp if they're having liver metabolism issues because it shows up as liver spots, hyperpigmentation spots. I'm not sure if any of you guys know what that looks like. When you see in like an older person, when they get older, they get spots. This is inflammation. When they get spots all over their face, it comes from high levels of insulin in the body. They'll get skin tags, and also it comes from processed foods that affect the liver and affect liver metabolism. There is something called, yes, Miss Tyra, you're going to start having two boiled eggs in a protein shake. Yes, real food. Even the protein that you add, I know the protein shake and the protein, when you look at that, is high fructose this and there's a whole bunch of chemicals. If we eat anything that has more than 10 ingredients in it, it's probably not a good thing. It's probably ultra processed. And the ultra processed foods are the foods that affect our liver. Why? I'm going to give you two reasons why this bothers us. When we eat a lot of processed food, the processed food has a combination of either sucrose, sucralose, glucose, or high fructose. When those items have to get broken down by the liver, because we eat so much food, the receptors in our brain don't shut off to tell us that we don't need no more. We eat so much, and the excess that is stored by the body is stored as fat, and it namely affects our liver. I see an amazing amount of people that sit in my chair week in and week out, and I do consultations almost every day. Almost all of the people that I see have high amounts of liver fat. When we eat a lot of processed food, it's usually too much sugar floating through the body, broken down by the liver because it can't go anywhere. It's processed. The body can't use it as glucose. That excess sugar that we're consuming by the high fructose and the processed foods are ending up as liver fat, and it's causing non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. So for anyone who has had a blood report and they see that their liver levels are significantly high, it's because our livers are inflamed. They're fatty because of all the processed food. So this in turn shows up on the scalp, it shows up in the skin, and it will affect hair growth. High fructose corn products, high fructose syrup, high sugar leads to high levels of insulin. All of this, it affects the cellular processes required for hair growth. There's something called the mitochondria. I know many people have heard mitochondrial DNA. That's the DNA we get passed down from every female in our lineage, our grandmother, great grandmother, your mother. They all give you mitochondrial DNA. Mitochondria, as far as a cell's concerned, and this is science, mitochondria, as far as the cell is concerned, that's the energy producing center of the cell. If the energy producing center of the cell is not working, it can't help the cell split, divide, and create new cells or new hair cells. And the reason why our mitochondria is so important, because when we see 5 o'clock shadow, when we wax our face, wax our eyebrows, cut our underarms, or shave, that mitochondria in the cell is producing more and more cells every single day. That's why we have 5 o'clock shadow. But when we interrupt that process, that's why we have slow growing hair, because the cellular processes can't take place because of the high fructose products provides us with high levels of insulin, and it interrupts the mitochondrial functioning of the cell. If you damage the energy producing center of the cell, it can't replicate, it can't split, it can't divide, it can't give you new hair. So that's why I can see in my women and my men, after so long, I see their parts starting to widen. You know why? Because it's what's on the end of your fork. So if y'all don't understand it by now, You have to manage what it is that you're eating. I know it's a tall task. Sometimes I'm just so busy because I start in the morning at 8 and I leave by 5. If I come to work and I don't bring a salad, I don't bring a shake, or I don't have something to eat, then I'm scrambling. I'm like, oh my God, there's nothing around here that I can get that's fresh or frozen that I can eat because everything is processed. Now, I'm going to tell you something else that ultra processed food causes issues with. It causes issues with our endocrine system. I have a lot of women that I see that are going through menopause, and I also have a lot of women who are still menstruating who have high periods where their periods, they're bleeding, bleeding, bleeding. They have so much blood flow where they're bleeding so much they're going through 2, 3, 4 pads an hour. High levels of insulin, high glucose levels, high A1C, my diabetics, those with insulin resistance, all of those that have the problems with sugar levels, high insulin levels and insulin resistance causes problems for your endocrine system, namely those who are still menstruating. It can cause you to continue bleeding for an extended amount of time. So we have to watch all of the food that we eat because it's tied to insulin resistance, our sugar levels, those who are diabetics, and our A1C. So, what I wanted to just say right now is I want to start a support group for any of us who can just get through one day without eating processed food. I would like to do that. When you get up in the morning, I don't care if it's bacon and eggs, because sometimes not even bacon. If you can eat anything that's not processed, that is farm to table, that's fresh, that was just slaughtered and now you eat it. I don't care what it is. If it's not in a box or a bag. So I guess bacon is the wrong thing. We have to stop eating so much processed food. If you can, eat yourself some quinoa, some couscous, some brown rice with the whole husk, with all the protein intact, because we need that insoluble and that soluble fiber. Try not to eat Goya rice with all the food coloring, the additives. Try not to eat the sazon packets that you put in the rice. Try not to eat anything processed. Make everything. Make your rice. Add your vegetables. I don't care if you mix it together. Try not to have anything that's prepared because all of those prepared foods are what are giving us all of this pause and giving us all of these problems. When I have clients, and I invite you all to go to my website, I have two websites, fixedthinninghair.com and hairlosscenernj.com. When you go to my websites and you scroll to the media section, you scroll all the way to the bottom, I have plenty of clients who I've had to work with. I've had to work with them to support their gut, to work with them so that they can eat for their blood type. I've had to work with them so that they can eat fresh and frozen food, reduce their inflammation. And guess what? When we were able to do all that, guess what? Their hair started coming back. When you eat real food, you're getting nutrition. This stuff that we're eating out here now is not food. It is processed food. That's not real food. Processed food is not food. It's food that was processed to make it sweeter, saltier, taste better so that you'll eat more. Please, if you can, make yourself a salad, make something, meal prep it, duplicate that joint, and take it to work with you. Have it every single day. But try, if you can, to go one day without a soda, without something that is processed, an added sweetener, a latte, cold cuts. Cold cuts is processed food. If you look on Instagram and all these videos that are going around about how they make processed meat, Lord have mercy, you don't want to eat it. Don't eat anything processed. Try to make all of your food for one day. It will help your body tremendously. So I know I was on a rant. So Miss Tyra said, so let me ask a question. What about the prepared salads? Is that okay to eat? Well, Miss Tyra Byfield, I'm sorry if I messed your name up. What I want to suggest is when I went to an intro to trichology course years ago in 2010, this is what got me started in wanting to be a trichologist. When I took this training years ago, and this trichologist, Rodney Barnett, out of Dallas, Texas, talked to us about food and how different types of food provides enzymes and how enzymes are needed in the stomach to help food break down and so we can process it so it's utilized by the body. What I learned back then is when you buy food, I never buy food that's already cut and prepared for me. You know why? Because when you have a vegetable and you all vegetables have their own enzymes in them. That's why when you eat vegetables that have all types of things sprayed on them and everything, and you leave it out to just ripen in a bag on your windowsill or whatever, some foods will not break down because they've been sprayed with pesticides and glyphosates and things like that. Now the food don't break down the way it used to. You're supposed to have food and allow it to break down. One of the things that happens is when we buy food that's already cut and sliced for us, the enzymatic processes in the food already start to break down. So when you get that food, now most of the enzymes are gone. You need those enzymes for your digestion. So that can be the prebiotics for the probiotics in your gut. It's supposed to feed the bacteria. The enzymes in the food need to be there so that you can digest it well. A lot of us can't digest a lot of the food we eat because the enzymes are already broken down in the food. The food's already starting to turn brown and wilt because you've already started cutting into it. So don't buy sliced apples if you can. Don't buy sliced lettuce and cut lettuce. Try buying the whole leaf by itself, just rinsing it, putting it on a paper towel, letting it dry, and then store it in your bag, in your refrigerator or whatever. But if you can, try not to buy processed vegetables that are already sliced because it actually is not good for you. But if that is a choice between processed food or a sandwich or cold cuts, and that salad that's already sliced and prepared, I'm gonna actually eat salad. And then get yourself maybe something on the side, maybe sliced avocado or boiled egg or a patty of salmon or whatever type of fish or meat or protein that's good for your blood type, eat it. But try not to eat the turkey salad, the chicken salad, or the cold cuts on top of your salad because that's the whole point. We eat way too many processed foods, and these processed foods interrupt our cellular processes. It also causes nervous system issues, which is why so many kids from eating Takis, Doritos, hot Cheetos, and all types of food with all these food colorings, it bothers our nervous system and we internalize this. We create babies who are fed this all day long and we wonder why they have developmental issues, nervous system issues, Tourette's, and all kinds of different nervous system issues because of the food, the ultra processed food that we're eating. So, as a side note, red leaf lettuce is so good. Yes, it is. I love all lettuce, all kinds of lettuce. I don't even care what it is. I love it all because I'm a salad foodie. But yes, the cut vegetables, cut fruit and vegetables, it really does go bad because, like I said, you're causing the enzyme processes. As soon as you slice into something, you automatically see it starting to go bad because you've sliced into it. Even if it's by accident, it normally starts to break down. It's just like if you cut yourself, then your skin's trying to heal. It doesn't work the same way with a vegetable or fruit. Once you cut it, the enzymes are already being released and it's starting to break down. So yes, it does go bad fast when it's already cut. And if you can, if possible, try to have fresh food. So Miss Tyra says I use it every day and I have to get it like every 3 days. Oh, Miss Sandra Mack said, Tyra, I use it every day and I have to get it like every 3 days. That does happen, but if you can just buy it and prepare it or cut it, rinse it off and put it in your refrigerator, make it a point to have it for lunch or have it for dinner, have it with your meat and have a salad. But then that's your excuse to eat fresh food. The fact remains the more processed food we eat, the worse it is for our bodies and for our hair and scalp. And that's why I'm here. So that was my whole reason for being here was just to share with you guys that the FDA is finally taking notice. My chiropractor was telling me about food coloring, and my daughter, who is in college for biochemistry, she was telling me about red food coloring. Mom, you need to stay away from red food coloring because that's why you can't sleep and everything else. Please, I want to just share with you guys, you have to be mindful of the food that you eat. All the food that you eat has an effect on you over the long haul. So I want to just ask here on TikTok. If y'all have any questions, let me know because I don't see any questions. And I'm about to start going into the 4 must haves you should have if you want to have good, healthy hair growth. TikTok, do you guys want to hear about the four must haves? If not, I won't mention that. Maybe I'll go into the three reasons why you are losing hair. Which would you guys rather hear about? The four must haves for healthy hair growth and a healthy body and a healthy life, or the three reasons why you're losing your hair? Let me know. Let me know. So Miss Tyra said, I am trying to eat better because I've lost a lot of hair and I'm only 55. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I understand. And that's why I'm here because I know this probably isn't the most exciting thing to hear. I'm usually talking about the four must haves. I'm talking about hormonal hair loss. I'm talking about the three reasons why you're losing your hair. So I know the stuff that I come on and talk about probably isn't the nicest to listen to, but this needs to be said because your dermatologist isn't going to tell you this. Your dermatologist is going to say, oh, I can give you some topical finasteride, dutasteride, minoxidil. I can give you a topical steroid for your itching, but they're not going to tell you why you're itching. If you work on your sugar levels, your glucose, your A1C, your insulin, and your insulin resistance because of all the food you're eating, then you won't have so many problems with itching. But that's where we come in as holistic practitioners and trichologists. This is why I'm here because I'm trying to help my ladies get down to the nitty gritty because I'm 56. A lot of 56-year-olds have no hair. And the reason why they have no hair is because of years of poor eating and poor lifestyle habits. So that's why I'm here. I know I'm a little dramatic right now, and I'm so sorry. So, Miss Sandra, it's not that it doesn't work, and I'm not going to say the N word because sometimes I get dinged and I'll get messaging saying that I shouldn't mention certain things on my lives. So it's not that the N word didn't work. It's probably not what you needed. What I usually say about that is when you buy box products, which is why I don't like to give box products when I have a consultation, is because a box product contains a whole host of things that you may not need. When I do a consultation, my clients get they either get a blood chemistry analysis, they get a bioscan, or they get what's called a Viscera link. The Viscera link will target exactly what it is that you need and exactly where your imbalances are. Your bioscan will let me know everything that is going on with you, and it will let me know what vitamins and nutrition you are lacking in, and so will your blood chemistry analysis. Now, the N word, it contains things in it. However, what's going on with your lipidemia? What's going on with your A1C? What's going on with your scalp quality? What's going on with your digestion? How often you go to the bathroom? Are you in menopause? What other endocrine issues do you have? So just taking something in a box is not looking at everything else that's going on with the body. That's why I'm always hammering and I'm always trying to get back to my people who reach out for a 15-minute consultation because you guys don't understand the power of what we have as tools to help you guys get it together. So a lot of times I'll keep reaching back out, and people say, "Oh no, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I'm not ready," because it is a commitment. And I'm gonna give you all a story in a minute. But I am so I get so enamored with all of the, thank you so much for my heart. I get so enamored with all the information that I learned. When I tell you I'm sitting here on this computer every single day researching an article from NIH and PubMed, and I'm looking at journals and I'm on podcasts and reading books. I eat, sleep, and breathe hair loss and health and wellness all day long. I'm figuring out links to this and how this connects to this. And then when I put it together, I come here and I try to share things with you guys. But God has given me the gift of being able to help people understand what their body processes have to do with hair growth, but yet a lot of people are apathetic, and I'm gonna tell you what I mean in just a second. So TikTok, I see you guys don't have any questions for me, so I'm gonna keep going. And I'm gonna flip back and forth. Tyra, I'm gonna get to you about that. Oh boy, do I itch in just a second. Let me flip back and forth for a second. All right. Okay. I don't have any questions here on YouTube, so I'm going to flip back. All right. Go to Instagram. See who's got me on here. All right. All right. Nobody there. Okay. So, Miss Sandra Mack. So I say that to say, When you take a box product like that, that box product is not addressing all of your body systems and how they work together to give you the hair that you have. Your hair never just grows on its own. Like I say to you guys all the time, this thing here, this is a life size model of what the hair looks like. This is the subcutaneous layers of the skin. So when somebody said they done hit you on the head and cut you to the white meat, this is what that looks like. These are the layers, the microscopic layers of the skin. This is where the hair grows out. This is what it looks like when I look at your scalp under a microscope. So it looks like almost like snake skin. And that's what it's supposed to look like on a clean scalp. Usually, when clients come in, their scalps are so congested and white that I can't even see the striations, the natural striations in the scalp because you have so much congestion on your scalp because you're not using the right shampoo and you're loaded with yeast. And that's why a lot of people's scalps are itching. So, these are blood vessels. This here, the red and the blue, arteries and veins. They're carrying blood and oxygen to your scalp, and the veins are carrying it away from the scalp. So, everything that you're involved with, whatever it is that you're doing, whatever you're surrounded with, Miss Sandra, if you're not addressing the entire body and what's going on through the blood, it don't matter how much stuff they give you in a box of N. If they're not addressing you completely, that may be why it doesn't work. That's why I don't like to give people just random nutrition in a bottle. That don't mean it's for you. So, Miss Tyra, I want to address that you said you itch. What usually happens is, like I was saying about the insulin resistance and the amount of processing in the foods because they have so much sugar, that's how they sneak it in. I have so many women and so many men who deal with fine fungal issues. Like the scalp will just be white, their face will be white, their beard is always crusty. They have Demodex in their eyelids because of the fungus and because of the sugar. What usually happens is because of our glucose A1C, our insulin resistance, and the amount of sugar in processed food, bread, starches, rice, potatoes, foods that we're eating all day long, and because of the poor activity of our gut, we have an abundance of yeast and candidiasis that runs rampant. But what happens is we get these weaves and these protective styles in our hair. We don't want to wash our hair. We want to leave it in for months and weeks at a time. Then when we take it out, we got all this crust and our hair is not thriving because our bodies and our scalps are full of yeast. So when you have thrush in the mouth, you have that really extra coated white tongue. Babies usually get thrush. When women have issues with candida, they usually have a very itchy kitty. I'm just putting it out there because it is what it is. When you have an abundance of yeast on the skin, you itch a lot, and then you have candida and yeast on the skin. When you have an abundance of candida in the body, you usually get pityriasis. You get white scales all over your face. I see tons of people every day that have these little white splotches and they just turn lighter because that's inflammation. It's spreading all over the place. So when I hear my ladies say they're itching, that's why. You have to change your shampoo schedule, use the right shampoo, and you have to work on your gut. Your gut is the seat of all that itchiness. When your gut is ill supported and it has too much yeast, that's why your skin is going to itch. That's why everybody's running to the dermatologist getting all these topical clobetasol and these antifungals and these ketoconazole because your gut's tore up. So I hope y'all know me by now that when I get like this, it's only because this is your sister telling you in love. It's not that I'm fussing, but I get very I love what it is that I do, and I'm just begging my people when I come on here every single day, every week, coming on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I'm begging y'all, take your body seriously. Take your body seriously because it's how you treat your body. That's why we are suffering. That's why by the time we reach the dermatologist, the stuff is so overgrown and the parts have widened and we have no hair because no one knows this. They don't want to share this, or if they do know it, they refuse to acknowledge it. So Ms. Tyra said, thank you, God, because the information is needed. Stylists or cosmetologists don't know. Many of them don't know, nor does the dermatologist know how to help us. That's why I'm here. Initially, at the start of this live, I was sharing that I have an educational platform on hairlosscenternj.com/education. That is all of my education that I provide. I have entrepreneurial trainings for beauty professionals who want to grow their business, who want to get their message out, much like I'm doing now. I also have virtual trainings for those who want to learn non-surgical hair replacement. I will stand with you on a Zoom while you're there with your model, and I will coach you through virtual hair replacement. Virtual hair replacement. I have two other additional in salon trainings for those who want to learn hair replacement. I also have a hair loss practitioner and trichology training talking about the same things that I'm talking about now, but it's a 6-week online practitioner course. So I do this and I'm very passionate, Miss Sandra, because there are more of us are needed. It's not enough of us out here. And there are way too many people suffering with hair and scalp issues, but then hairstylists don't know it's not the right time, the investment is not the right time, or they don't have the money for the investment. But what we do takes a lot of work, takes a lot of energy, takes a lot of time. I myself, I went to college, got a 4-year degree, but when I tell you, when I studied for my trichology certification, it was nothing like getting a finance degree, nothing like it at all. It was a lot of work and a lot of study, and it's intense. For me to sit here and do what I do, even though I've gotten my trichology certification many years ago, I am still reading. I'm still engrossed in nutrition, lifestyle information, diabetes, insulin resistance, endocrine system, digestion, metabolism. I am engrossed in it all day long because this is what I am up against. I have to help my clients with this every single day. When they sit here with me for consultation, I have to be able to explain to them why they're in the position that they're in. So I appreciate you saying that I'm passionate because I love what I do, and I ask God to allow me to help one person a day, one person each week, one person each month. So hopefully somebody, because I got a couple people on here now, someone within the sound of my voice gets it. You understand that you probably need some assistance. You don't know where to go. You don't know what to do. I would suggest if you're not ready to reach out to me right now because you're unsure of what about the investment? Well, what do I have to do? What does the trichologist do? Follow me for a while. Go through my social channels. If you're following me on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, go through a lot of my page. Go through my videos. Listen to me. Visit my website. See what it is that I have done for my community, for my clients. Scroll through, listen to me, and you'll see the passionate person that I am is going to be transferred onto you because once I work with someone, that's it. You got me for life, and I'm going to be constantly checking in. How's your protocol? How's your treatment plan? How are you doing with your supplements? How are you doing with your wash day? Are you relaxing? Are you turning your phone off? Like I'm there. I'm constantly on my clients because you guys pay me to deliver you results. But the results come when you work. So I'm going to just slide into something really quick. So Miss Tyra said, my skin itches a lot. My endocrinologist says it's from the diabetes. I am working on my gut health. I have done a super cleanse. Well, that's just it, Miss Tyra. It's the gut health and it's the high sugar from your diabetes. So you will constantly have an issue with that. However, I have put all of my clients that I work with that are diabetics, I have put them on the program to help them manage their blood sugar. I usually put them in touch with um, the physician who shared with me these products. But I tell everyone when you can, let me see. I'm going to go back to, okay. So there's a physician. There's a physician. His name is Dr. Kenny. He has put me in touch with a product called Unicity, and it is the Look Great, Feel Better system. The Look Great, Feel Better system helps you with your A1C, your diabetes, and your insulin resistance levels. And when you need to know more about the system, I always try to divert to his information in his videos because he is a doctor who got me in touch with the program because I spoke with him and I was trying to share with him what can I do with my ladies and my men who are dealing with insulin resistance. How do I help them with their blood sugar? Because the blood sugar is the key to the itching, the inflammation, the lack of blood flow, the hair loss. And he put me in touch with this product because the product encourages you to fast. When you fast, yes, it does stimulate the growth. Stimulate the production of blood sugar. However, when you fast for long periods of time, sometimes it helps you to bring down your insulin levels. And that's the key to insulin resistance, is bringing down the insulin levels. So I usually put my clients on all of this. So if you can, Miss Tyra, visit my profile. The link is scrolling across the screen right now. When you go to that link right there, it's going to take you to my section here that's going to share with you all of my lose weight, feel great, insulin resistance, high glucose, A1C information right here. Click on all of these so that you can find out more about it, because that's the key to helping you with your issues, is managing all of that, the glucose, the A1C, the insulin resistance. If you can't do that and you can't work on some of the food that you're eating, you will stay in that vicious cycle of having high itchy skin, having high sugar levels, which is going to keep giving you maybe yeast, maybe candida, and itchy issues. So please just let me know, because if you need for me to give you his information, he can tell you more about it as well. But I know, quite a bit, but I put all of my clients who are diabetics on it. And everyone, they're losing weight, they're doing better, their numbers are getting down. But that will help you, because when you have problems with diabetes and blood sugar, I'm not sure if you know, but I have talked a lot about that whole stress, cortisol, insulin resistance, that whole segment. It reduces the amount of blood flow. It creates a lot of inflammation. It elevates the sugar levels and the insulin resistance. Like I was saying earlier, high levels of insulin and insulin resistance interrupts mitochondrial flow, which is why it breaks down hair growth. Hair ceases to grow because it's not getting the energy from the mitochondria. The mitochondria can't help the cells reproduce, split, divide, and create more cells. And that's why people tend to lose hair, because of this whole vicious cycle. So again, as a trichologist, this is what I have to do. I have to be able to explain this to all of my clients when they're having these issues. This is why I recommend all this stuff when they're having these issues, because I want your lives to be a little bit easier and a lot more fruitful. So I'm glad you said, okay, thank you. And yes, you need his info. The info is right, it's scrolling across my screen. When you tap that link tree, it says https:// link tree, Hair Loss Center NJ. Once you do that, you'll go here and you'll see all of his information here. You'll see all of his information, all of his information. You'll tap it and it will take you to his information. And that's Dr. Kenny right there. So when you get a chance to review that, think about getting the Look Great, Feel Better System by Unicity. I'm going to get my boxes right here because I keep it here for my clients. And it's just a fasting system. When you go to sleep at night, after you eat your dinner, and then when you get up the next morning, you just drink these. It's enriched with chlorogenic acid. It also has properties similar to metformin, and it helps you by working on your blood sugar. So you take that, and then when you're ready to eat, you take a fiber packet, you mix it in your water, you mix it in your bottle of water, and you eat it. And even when I take it, it has helped me tremendously. It creates viscosity around your food so that your body doesn't digest all of your food. You actually have a combination of water with fiber, because that's what this is. And then you're eating your meal, but you don't have to eat so much of your meal, because you actually kind of get a little full once you drink this along with your meal. And I tell everyone, before you go to sleep, then have another one of these. But while you're fasting and while you're drinking throughout the day, you just have this. You have 2 boxes of these, and then you have one of these to eat with your food. And if you're going to have a really heavy meal, I tell everyone, just use 2 packets and use twice the water. And all of my clients have brought their numbers down, because I do not play when it comes to blood sugar, because that is the key to a lot of our African Americans, our minorities. That's the key to a lot of our issues, is the rice, the pasta, the processed food, the sugar. That's what's giving us all of these pause and all these problems. So I'm going to just go down here and answer some of these questions from TikTok. But Miss Tyra, if you go to my link that's scrolling across the bottom here, if you need me, I can send it to you. Once you do that and you tap on it, his information is going to come up. You can see his information, because it's going to pull up YouTube. Once you click on that video, click on another, and click on another, because he just gives you plenty of information about how the system works. and then decide to come back to my link and then think about purchasing the product because I take it too. That's why I have the boxes open. When you go back to my link, I'm gonna tap it again. When you go back to my link, you'll see all of the information and just go through these and just read them and listen to them. So TikTok says this is also complex. I know, well kept. I know because I am very T oriented. I love facts, figures, and science and information, and I try to not dummy it down because dummy it down is the worst phrase I could say ever because I don't want to ever treat my brothers and sisters like they're dumb. So it's not that I want to dummy it down. I'm trying to make it so that you guys understand the brevity of what all this stuff means. When JFK Jr. came on TV, I mean, Robert F. Kennedy came on TV and talked about the FDA cutting out the food coloring, I was just like, thank you, Jesus, because I think more of this is going to start resonating, and the FDA is going to start making some changes because they're trying to kill us. They're trying to kill us with the food. Okay, all right. All right, TikTok is asking me to verify that I am still here. Which of these objects are played on a court? The basketball. Okay, TikTok is asking me to do too much stuff. Come on now. All right, okay, because I think when TikTok sees that we're just sitting here for a while, sometimes it thinks that I'm not physically on the live. So yes, well kept said this is also complex, and I swear I don't mean to be like that. I just wanted to see if I had any more questions. So, do you guys want to hear the four must-haves you should have for great hair growth? Because if not, I won't go into it. I can go into the three things that are stopping us from having great hair growth. So, which would you guys rather hear? And I'm gonna flip back and forth from my channels to see what everyone wants to hear. All right, let me see. Let me see. So TikTok, what would y'all rather hear today? All right, Instagram. Okay, Instagram. Do you guys have any questions? So, Queen Val, how can you follow on YouTube? I am SBO Hair Loss on YouTube. I'm not sure if you are still here at Queen Val, but I am SBO Hair Loss on YouTube. You can follow me. I would love for you to follow me. I've been on YouTube longer than anything else. I have podcasts and I have long form, short reels. I have all kinds of stuff. And if you are still on, I'm going to try sending you some information about my channel and I'll send it to you. So I don't have any questions here from Instagram, so I'm gonna go ahead back over to my Facebook. Okay, the three things. All right, the three things. Okay, so TikTok, what y'all want to hear? Because if y'all don't weigh in, now Facebook is saying they want to hear the three things. So what do you want to hear? Do you want to hear the four must-haves that I talk about all the time? You want to hear about the four must-haves? Or the four must-haves, or do you want to hear about the three things that prevent us from having great hair growth? Come on, TikTok. What y'all got for me today? Nobody is saying anything because I want to make sure that everyone gets the way in. All right. Okay. No problem. No problem. No problem. Woo. My phone just keeps ringing and buzzing and splitting, so I'm gonna just turn this down because it's going to keep getting on my nerves. Okay, so Miss Sandra Mack and Miss Tyra, I'm going to talk about the three things that prevent us from having the best growth possible. Have you heard me when I have been on any of my channels talking about the three things? If not, I'm going to go ahead into it because I don't want to bore you and I don't want to share the same thing with you if you've heard this before. Have you heard me talk about this before at all? If you guys can put it in the chat. Have you heard me talk about any of this at all? I'm going to wait. Have any of you, Miss Lulu, or anyone, have any of you guys heard me talk about the three things that are preventing us from having the best hair growth? I'm just trying to see because I don't want to just talk and you guys have heard this already. Okay, Miss Sandra said not the three things. Okay, I just want to see if you guys are still listening. So, three of the things that are preventing us from having the best hair possible, and a lot of it I just covered. Oh, okay, Miss Tyra said yes, but you were writing. Okay. Three things that prevent us from having the best hair possible are stress issues, genetic and hormonal issues, and immune system issues. Now, the reason why I have all three is because they're kind of very closely linked. So, I want to talk about stress. Now, there's not a person on this earth that is not stressed out. It's just how we handle it. A lot of us handle our stress in different ways. But hi, Stella Styles, how are you? And congratulations on your trichology and your hair loss practitioner certificate. Congratulations. So, high five, high five, high five. So, a lot of what it is that we experience is due to the stress that we're under. There's no one here in this life that doesn't go through any stress. It's just how we handle it. So, what I want to share with you guys is when I talk to you all about how the hair is connected to the rest of the body, the hair is not in a vacuum all by itself. You can't take your hair off the shelf, put it on the shelf, and then put it back on when you want it. No, the hair is connected to us whether we like it or not. Now, these little things here, these are sensory nerve fibers that are surrounding each and every follicle. Sensory nerve fibers. Do you see these little things running through here? You probably can't see them all that great, but those are sensory nerve fibers, and they lead all the way to our skin. So we feel every nick, prick, and touch. When we are stressed, when we are under a lot of stress, our hair is under stress, which is why a lot of times when we're stressed today, we may have experienced a death, we may have been fired from our job, we may have had a really stressful event with maybe our children, our grandchildren, our aged parents, our husband, our spouse, whomever. A lot of us, it will cause us to have something called telogen effluvium. It will cause our hair to go from the growth phase, which is the anagen phase, to the catagen phase, to the telogen phase too quickly and prematurely. That will cause us to lose our hair. There are many people that I see when they come in for their trichology exam. When I look at their scalp, what do I see? Empty follicles. So I have to do my investigative work. I have to say, have you been sick? Have you been ill? Have you been exposed to a virus? Have you been stressed? They'll say, oh, yeah, I've been stressed. Then some people say, no, I haven't been stressed, but I have a stressful lifestyle. And I'll say, what has happened to you? Because when you have empty follicles, and I can see them, the follicle will literally look empty. I can tell that there was hair there. Something has caused that hair to exit the follicle. I need to know why. Because if that happens on a repeated basis, you will not be able to grow hair well. You're going to consistently have hair that's going to continue to fall out prematurely because you're under a lot of stress. So I'm going to share with you what stress does to the body and how it affects hair growth. Now, one of the top things is adrenaline. So I'm not sure if any of you guys, and I know you, so don't you say anything, Stella Styles, because you probably know everything already. So adrenaline, have you guys heard of adrenaline? Have you heard of epinephrine? Because they're used interchangeably. When you watch these hospital shows on TV and you see a person coming on a gurney and the doctor says, give him a shot of epi. Have you guys ever heard of epinephrine or adrenaline? Please put it in the chat. Just say yes, give me some hearts, give me something. Let me know that you're hearing me. Let me know. Hi, Sheila Wink. How are you? Let me know that you guys have heard it. If anyone can just tap the screen, let me know that you've heard it. So Miss Tyra said yes. So adrenaline, the root word of adrenaline is adrenal. Now, adrenals, if you don't know it or not, sit in the rear, in our back, on top of the kidneys. They got little hats on them. They look like they got little hats. The adrenals consist of the adrenal cortex and the adrenal medulla. So yes, Miss Sandra said yes, thank you, because you guys are the only ones giving me love today. Y'all are the only ones that love me. So the adrenals secrete cortisol in the adrenal cortex. So when you are stressed out, adrenaline is being secreted and cortisol is being secreted. Now, when adrenaline is being secreted all the time because you're under so much stress, your kids are bothering you, there's a death in the family, somebody committed suicide, somebody driving too slow at work, your husband getting on your nerves, your aged parents, they need something, and you're the only child in the family, and you got five, six brothers and sisters, and you're the only one doing everything. All of this stress, it causes adrenaline to be released into your system all the time. Now, that constant adrenaline from all the stress, and it's, y'all better not say I ain't under no stress. Everyone's under modest amounts of stress. Is how you handle it. Some of y'all secret sleepers, y'all the ones that be having these strokes and heart attacks because you're under stress, but you don't let nobody see it. So when you're going through an adrenaline surge, your blood vessels will constrict. That means less blood flow and less oxygen. This is how your blood flow would normally be, but then your blood vessels get like this. That means less oxygen, less blood flow. That's why a lot of us pass out, a lot of us have strokes, a lot of us have heart attacks after a stressful event because this blood is only being conserved in the core of the body and it's not getting to the rest of the body during that stressful event. A lot of people will pass out, a lot of people will have some sort of cardiac mishap after a stressful event because of that. So when you're stressed, your body is constantly releasing adrenaline. Also, because of the adrenal cortex and it's going to secrete cortisol, cortisol runs in conjunction with high secretions of blood sugar. When you're stressed, the brain needs to be able to function and needs to be able to work. So the body is going to secrete glucose and blood sugar. The brain needs it. The brain is a very fatty organ. The brain uses a lot of energy. So because of all these surges of blood sugar that the brain needs, guess what? Underutilized, unused blood glucose is stored around our middles as fat. It's converted to glycogen and it's stored in the middles as fat. That's why all of us, as we age, we getting fat. That's why we always got this thick middle because it's cortisol. And then the way our liver is not working properly because of all the liver fat. Now, I don't talk about that on the first hour with all the processed foods. And when our body eats a lot of processed food, it creates a lot of high insulin in the body. That insulin, a lot of us can't digest it all. We don't use it all. So that is stored as liver fat. So when we get this thick middle, it's a combination of us having babies, it's visceral fat, it's liver fat, it's cortisol. That's why all of us are getting so fat. So when I'm on here and I'm talking about things that you can do to support yourself, this is why I recommend all this stuff because we're going to be stressed out, but that stress is not good for our hair. That lack of blood flow and oxygen from all those adrenaline surges, that's why it causes our hair to fall out. That's why it causes our hair to fall out because we're not getting blood flow and oxygen to our tissues. The cortisol and the corresponding blood sugar. For those who are diabetic, it creates problems for people like you. When you're diabetic, that is excess inflammation flooding through the body. The constant inflammation, after a while, it burns out the capillaries and the receptors in the scalp, which is why people that are diabetic start losing hair. The receptors in the scalp, the capillaries, they tend to burn out from all the inflammation. They cease to work. There is no blood flow, there's not proper oxygen because of the diabetic response. This is why when diabetics aren't taking care of themselves, they have limbs cut off, they have fingers cut off, they have toes cut off, their legs and their toes and everything are amputated because there's no blood flow, there's no oxygen. It works the same for your scalp. If you're a diabetic and you have high blood sugar and it's mismanaged, that's why our scalps feel so tender, they feel so red, they feel so raw because of the high blood sugar, because of the lack of oxygen and the lack of blood flow. So I talked about cortisol, talked about blood sugar, I talked about adrenaline. The next thing that I want to talk about is when we are suffering with high blood sugar spikes in combination, in connection with all the food that we're eating, it leads us to have high insulin levels. Anytime our blood sugar is raised, insulin is raised too. Then it has to knock the blood sugar down, forcing that energy into the cell so that we can make use of the blood sugar. Excess blood sugar, of course, is stored in the body as fat. That high insulin that's being secreted every single day, all day, because of the food that we're eating, the candy we're sucking, the potato chips and snacks we're eating, all of these king size coffees and lattes and foods and teas that we're eating, it's creating a cycle of insulin resistance. It gets to the point where the pancreas gets so inflamed by all of the insulin and all the sugar in the body. Sometimes our bodies don't even recognize the insulin that we're producing, causing insulin resistance. That insulin resistance, it causes liver metabolism dysfunction. And when we're having liver metabolism dysfunction, it can't help the gallbladder process fats. The liver can't detoxify the body. The liver gets inflamed, and then we get non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. So we have to walk a lot differently. When we have all of these issues, that's why our hair can't grow the way it needs to, because everything works together. When you're doing one thing, it affects something else. When you're doing something else, it affects something else. So when you're stressed, there are a lot of complex body processes involved, which is why when you're stressed, it has a large impact on your hair and your hair growth. So I'm going to keep moving along because I usually have a lot of notes. So next, I want to share with you all genetic issues and hormonal issues and why we tend to have this hair loss and this thinning in the top of our head. There are three things that I want to really concentrate on as to why we have these issues. So I want to just share with you guys, does anyone in your family, hi, Miss Cherie, how are you? Welcome. Anyone within the sound of my voice, has anyone had someone in their family, like their mom, their grandmother, their grandfather, their father, anybody have that genetic hair loss pattern where their edges are starting to snake back here, or they're having that hair loss at the top? Because that is usually the universal sign for genetic hair loss. Sometimes there are just different traits that authentic genetic hair loss has. Do you have anyone in your family who's losing their hair and they're having genetic hair loss? If you can, let me know in the chat because I'm going to talk about that really quick. So I just wanted to wait and see what anybody says. What about you guys here? Let me know. Have you had any issues with genetic hair loss? Let me know. Please let me know. Okay, I don't see anything. All right. So okay. So Miss Sandra said no. Miss Tyra said I have the best of both worlds. My mom, my dad. Yes, I get it because my dad left me with a couple extras too. He left me with this super high forehead, and my husband teases me all day about me and my high forehead. My daughter subsequently got that high forehead because her daddy got it too. So she's got it. My mom has that genetic predisposition because she got it from my grandmother, and my grandmother got it from her mom, where our family, they just have that really wide edge that snakes back. So when that runs in your family, that is indeed male or female pattern hair loss. Usually, once it is genetic, there's sometimes no way to get around it. Genetics are going to give you what genetics give you. If genetics give you a big butt and round hips, you're gonna have big butt and round hips no matter what you do. If you gain a little weight, guess what? It comes back. You lose weight and you lose it, but you still got it. You still shapely. You still got the hourglass. If your mother has brown eyes, your dad got blue eyes, guess what? You're gonna have one of the two because it's genetic. There are just some things that you're gonna have because it's genetics. However, if you can work on balancing your hormones and balancing your body's genetic response. But if you don't do it forever, you're going to always have the genetic predisposition. There are some things that influences genetic hair loss, and there are some things that you can do to just manage it. There are things like saw palmetto, zinc, and then there are a ton of other herbs that you can take. I have a book that I wrote. I'm going to just share it with you guys here. Let me see if I can pull it up. There is a hormonal hair loss guide that I wrote, that is in my link. It's going across the bottom of the screen, and you'll find it here. It says balance your hormonal hair loss issues. So if you guys ever want to learn how to balance your hormonal hair loss, I have so much information in there because when it comes to balancing your hormonal hair loss, you have to think about all of your hormones. And when I say all of your hormones, you have to think about your adrenals that I just talked about. You have to think about the cortisol. You have to think about supporting the thyroid. So all of the information that I have in this book is going to help you balance all of those. So you also have to balance your insulin levels because insulin is a hormone. You also have to balance your melatonin. Melatonin is a hormone. If you don't get any sleep at night, if you're fighting sleep, if you want to sleep with the phone, sleep with the TV on, you're not allowing your body to make use of the melatonin that you secrete. When the sun starts going down, you secrete more melatonin. If you're fighting sleep and you don't want to go to sleep and you're working late hours, it's a problem for your body because you need to go to sleep. Melatonin serves as immune privilege for the hair follicle. When you're fighting a lot of sleep, you're cutting your life cycle short and you're causing problems for your hair. So there are things like that in that book because when you want to work on hormonal hair loss, you have to work on all of your hormones. You can't just work on just estrogen and progesterone. There's more. You also have to worry about and monitor, are you taking the pill, because the pill has implications on how well your hair grows. You have to work on your some of my ladies take hormonal supplements because they're going through the change of life. All of that, you have to balance all that, and all of that is in my book. So when it comes to hormonal hair loss, there are things you can do, but you have to help support your body and balance your body's needs. Now, there's also something that I also talk about all the time called ACTS. Now, I know you guys probably can't see it on TikTok. All you have to do is tap my link there. You go to my bio and you'll find my link. When you tap on it, you'll see more information about this product here called ACTS. Now, I know you guys probably can't see it, but when you have the chance, you can look at it a little bit later. The ACTS stands for adrenal, cortisol, thyroid, and stress formula. That product is going to do a wonder as far as helping you support your body's hormonal needs, especially if you're going through a lot of stress. And right, Miss Sandra said you start taking that. So Miss Tyra says, so no fair to us. I'm sorry. Let me know. Let me know if I can help you with any of that because there are some things that you can do when it comes to hormonal hair loss. However, I have more of that information in the book and I can't really go into it right now. So when you are indeed dealing with genetic and hormonal hair loss, there are things that you can do, but you have to work on all of your hormones. You can't just work on just a little bit. It has to be everything because your endocrine system is what needs to be supported because that is why you're having a challenge with your hair growth. The second thing that happens with hormonal hair loss, because I've talked about stress, now I'm talking about genetics and hormones. The next thing that happens is hormonal hair loss. That's that hair loss that's in the top of your head where your hair starts getting thin right up here. One of the other things that has an influence on the hair on the top of your head is medication. Now, I know I keep talking about the books, but there is so much information to be learned when you understand that when you're on medication. I have a book here. When you're on medication, your medication will draw, it's called the Drug Nutrient Medication Guide. The Drug Nutrient Medication Guide. When you go to my link, when you're taking different medications, the medication, it needs to be buffered on the way out. When you ingest it, when you shoot it, whenever you take any medication, it don't matter if you're taking a birth control pill, something for your nerves, Prozac, I don't care what it is. Whenever you ingest medication, it needs to buffer itself on the way out. So it's going to carry things with it on the way out. So when you're taking different cholesterol medications, different heart, blood pressure medications, metformin, asthma medication, whatever it is, it's going to pull and it's going to take minerals with it on the way out. What happens to you is because you're on that medication, that's why your hair starts getting thin at the top. When you are deficient and devoid of different minerals, it's going to come out in your hair. So that's why I'm always on here talking about the four must haves you should have for great hair growth. If you're on a lot of medication, you have to figure out which items you need to replace your body with so it doesn't take it out on your hair. So anytime you are eating food, 20%, like I said, is going to go to your brain. The rest is going to go to the body. And if you're giving your body good food, anything that's left, 20% of it goes to your hair, skin, and nails. So if you're taking medication and you're not eating a good diet, you're not going to have good hair. That's why I'm always on here saying you need your vitamins, you need your minerals, your antioxidants, your anti-inflammatories, and your pre and your probiotic fiber. So when you're taking medication, it doesn't matter what medication it is, this nutrient medication guide will let you know whatever it is you're taking, what you need to supplement your body with so that your body isn't sucked dry of minerals. Because it's going to either take it from your bones, it's going to take it from your hair, it's going to take it from somewhere if you're not replenishing it from this medication. Again, when you're taking medication and you're not giving your body the excess minerals that you need, and I know many of you are saying, I don't want to take nothing else. I'm on medication. I don't want to take nothing. Okay, then just keep the hair you have. I'm just here to just relay information. When you do, it's going to wind up giving you that hormonal hair looking like pattern. What it's doing to you is when you're taking medication, usually it has an effect on you where you're losing certain minerals that have an effect on how well your hormones perform. So that's why we tend to have this area here that looks like it's getting thinner or you're having hormonal hair loss challenges. So I wanted to just let you know that because when it comes to authentic genetic hair loss and medication, one of the other last things that I wanted to mention when it comes to you losing hair in the crown, a lot of my ladies are dealing with scarring alopecia. A lot of my men are dealing with scarring alopecia. When you have something called lichen planus, lichen planopolaris, it can start here in the crown. It takes the place of something called CCCA, centrifugal cicatricial alopecia. It usually starts in the central area of the scalp. It will migrate and go from type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4, where it will take out all of your hair. Now, I'm not sure if I have a picture of what it looks like. I'm going to see if I have it real quick because I usually have to take a lot of pictures off my phone because my phone is always so full and I'm always taking videos. Now, I'm not sure if you guys can see this. Now, this is type 4, this is type 3, this is type 1, this is type 2. Now, these are stages of centrifugal cicatricial alopecia. Type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4. Now, when you have lost your hair and your skin has lichenified, it is usually accompanied by itchy, scaly skin, an itch, or the feeling that you have creepy crawlies, your skin is inflamed. It just never seems to be a day where your scalp isn't sore. That's usually the beginnings of CCCA or inflammatory mediated alopecia. So a lot of my ladies will say, "Oh, I think it is my medication. I think this was genetic." Sometimes it can be CCCA or inflammatory mediated alopecia, and it's coming from the inflammatory process in the body from everything that I mentioned: digestion, elimination, your endocrine, your blood pressure, your diabetes, all of that causes inflammation. And a lot of times it can take itself out on your scalp. So when you're having liver issues and your liver is too fatty, and like I said, you start getting those brown spots all over your scalp, that is coming from the liver. It looks like age spots, but it shows up on the scalp because your liver is too fatty. It can't metabolize the waste products. It can't detoxify our blood the way it needs to, and it can't help the gallbladder process fat. So it shows up in your scalp and it takes the place as hyperpigmentation. So a lot of us, when we're losing hair in the scalp, it can be genetic, it can be hormonal, it can be the medication, and it can also be that CCCA. So if no one is telling you your certified trichologist from SBO Hair Loss in Pleasantville Your sister is telling you you have to change how you're living so that you can have better hair growth. So next on the list is the immune system and how it affects us when we lose hair when we're sick. There are a lot of us walking around who have low lying levels of bacteria in the gut. We have viral issues. We have had COVID. We've had shingles. We've had the flu. We have all these different illnesses that are unresolved that we're still carrying around that are never really addressed, never fully dealt with. We're a nation stuck on antibiotics, antibiotics, antibiotics. Every time we turn around, we're taking antibiotics. Our guts are so far gone, they need so much help. It's a wonder why we're all not walking around with some kind of sickness. But this is what I see. When clients come to me, they get their blood work or they get their CBC done and I analyze it. I see leukocytes, white blood cells, neutrophils, all high because the body is dealing with something that's unresolved and it takes itself out on your immune system. When your immune system is actively fighting something, your hair will never grow well. Now, what I also want to share with you is when you're dealing with a viral load, whether it is Lyme disease, whether it is, let me see, HPV, herpes, anything viral, anything bacterial. If you're a person that gets BV a lot, if you get a lot of abscesses and you get a lot of boils under your arms and your armpits and your groins, you're dealing with low level bacteria. When you're dealing with a lot of bacterial issues, a lot of fungal issues, immunity issues, that's a lot for your immune system to have to deal with. Your immune system is going to pick and choose. Take care of you, take care of hair. So it's going to choose to take care of you every day of the week, 24 hours a day. But what has to happen is, guess what? Your hair will sometimes fall by the wayside. When things are left unchecked and ill supported in the gut and your immune system can't support you, your hair will always pay the price. So when your immune system is not supported, you're going to have problems with your hair. If you're having a viral issue, it will come out in your hair. I've had ladies who have had hepatitis B, C. I've had clients who have had HPV, who've had herpes, who've had shingles, who've had COVID once and twice. Their hair always looks poor when their immune system is not dealt with and it's not supported. So I always like to let everyone know that you have to think about your body as a full temple. When you think of it that way, and then you see why your hair is not doing that well and is doing poor, it's because the body works together. You can't just take the hair off the shelf and deal with your body and deal with everything that's happening and then take the hair back off the shelf. You have to deal with all of it. And the immune system is part of it. How you can strengthen your immune system is number one, by taking your pre and your probiotics, eating your high fiber foods, eating your soluble and your insoluble fiber. And I know a lot of people say, oh, I don't want gas, I don't want this. There's a whole lot of things we don't want, but yet we want to have good hair all the time. There are just some things that we have to do. We have to eat the spinach, we have to eat the leafy greens, we have to eat the fiber rich foods, we have to eat the kimchi and the sauerkraut and the pickles and the kombucha. We have to do it. We have to have the probiotics in the diet. A lot of our foods do not have enough probiotic fiber. There's not enough fiber in all the foods. They take all of the fiber out of processed foods. So a lot of the foods that we're eating has no fiber in it. So we have to get it from whole foods. That's where you get the fiber from, whole foods. Don't, and this is not to anyone saying don't juice. If you have to juice, juice. But all the fiber you need is in the food that you're juicing. You're discarding it. Unless you're going to take it and make muffins or put it into something else, just eat the apple. Just eat the lemon, but just don't always juice. Don't use juicing as your main lifestyle. Every so often, you need to just have a smoothie. Take that whole fruit, put the whole fruit in there because your body needs the fiber. Truth be told, when you blast it on them high power cyclones and everything else, sometimes you're macerating the food to death and you're really cutting the fiber in the foods. I know that's a lot for a different day, but if you can, just try not to take all of the fiber out of your food because you need the fiber because you need it for our gut. So Miss Tyra said, can you take the pre and probiotics daily? Yes, ma'am. And I am usually always on here talking about the prebiotic fiber that I recommend. So TikTok, let me know if y'all still here. If y'all have any questions, because I don't have any questions. Tap the screen, let me know y'all still here. I'm going to go get it real quick because Miss Tyra, you might have it, but I'm going to share with you what it is that I always suggest. TikTok, y'all got any questions for me? Tap the screen. Let me know you're still here. I'm going to go grab this pre and probiotic fiber real quick. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, Miss Sandra. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, you did. So having things like this in the diet, I'm not sure because I'm not really getting much from TikTok. Hi, Juicy89. Let me know if you have any questions. So, like I was saying, to protect your immune system, the first thing you have to do is start with your gut health. Now, usually for the gut, I recommend pre and probiotic fiber. Now, this is more like a dusty powder. It's not that thick Metamucil or thick mealy quality where you put it in your water or your smoothie and it doesn't dissolve. You put this in there, you shake it up, it's dissolving. It's miscible with water, and you can drink it, and it's not all mealy. It doesn't have a whole lot of grit to it. How probiotics work for us now is even if you just took probiotics, it's not really helping repopulate your gut. Sure, you're giving yourself more probiotics, but the body doesn't have enough of its own bacteria to repopulate. You have to keep adding the probiotics to your diet. It's really not doing anything. Thank you for saying that. It's very good. You actually need to give your probiotics prebiotic fiber, which is food for the good bacteria. You want the good bacteria to repopulate. And how you do that is you give your good bacteria food. And I'm going to equate it to soil. If you take soil and you just take seeds and you just drop seeds in the soil and just put some water on it, it may grow, it may not. And if it does grow, it's going to grow very weakly, very small, very shallow. You know why? Because it doesn't have food. You didn't give it any miracle grow. You didn't give it no fertilizer. You didn't add mulch. You didn't add straw. You didn't poke holes in the bottom and let the water go through. You didn't zhuzh up the dirt. The prebiotic fiber is like zhuzhing up the dirt for the probiotics. You have to give the probiotics food. The probiotics need to repopulate, but it needs food for the energy. You can't just take probiotics because it's really not going to be a benefit to you. You actually need pre, pro, and postbiotics. But to keep things simple, I'm just going to say pre and probiotics. So I usually give this to everyone, and usually within a day, they're having regular bowel movements. The problem with everyone today is they're not eating enough fiber. They're not going to the bathroom. They're having all these skin and scalp issues, all these autoimmune issues because they're eating the wrong foods, causing leaky gut. So the toxicity is floating through their toxins, causing them all kinds of skin and scalp issues and all these autoimmune issues when you need to tighten up your gut and support your gut. Yes, Miss Tyra. Okay, you said you have to make a call, but you're still here. I'm about to conclude anyway because I've been on here for an hour and 30 minutes. I can't even believe it, just talking to death. So, you guys, when I talk about the three reasons why we're losing our hair, it's because of our stress and the conditions that happen surviving the stress response, the genetic and hormonal issues that we have. They come from genetics, they come from the foods that we're eating, they come from hormonal imbalances, they come from inflammation, they come from a lot of different places, and it will resemble hormonal hair loss. Then I've also talked about the immunity and how you have to protect your immune system. When you're on these antibiotics for 2 and 3 weeks and these Z packs, guess what? You need to take your pre and probiotic fiber. If you've been on antibiotics for 2 weeks, you need to be on probiotics for a month. If you're on antibiotics for a month, you need to stay on probiotics and probiotic fiber for 2 months. You need to have it for twice as long because you have to do double duty and repopulate the gut. So I hope this helped someone. Tomorrow I could talk about the 4 must-haves, but I know I was here talking about processed food and then going into the 3 reasons why, but I hope this has helped someone. If you need me, please reach out. My information is floating across the bottom of the screen. All you have to do is go to the name of the page, SBO Hair Loss. You can go to SBO Hair Loss and Trichology Hair, tap it, you go to my information. On Instagram, you just go to the name of the page, Hair Loss Center NJ. YouTube, all you have to do is click on any video, leave me a comment. I see it immediately because my phone is with me all the time. All you guys have to do is reach out, leave me a comment, and I'll get back to you. If you need me for any reason, I ask everyone, schedule a 15-minute session with me. You owe yourself that much. If your hair and your scalp and your body is important to you, give yourself 15 minutes because I don't like to take calls in between my work day and between the live and answer questions about your life story. I ask everybody to schedule 15 minutes with me. If it's that important to you, schedule some time. I get so many people that say, I don't want to answer all the questions. It's just 10 questions. Have you been to a dermatologist? Tell me about your hair. How important is it to you? What medications are you taking? It's not a whole bunch of information. It's just 10 simple questions. And then you can get on my schedule and talk to me uninterrupted. I won't be on no live. I won't be talking to a client. 15 minutes is devoted totally to you. I can listen to you, then I can make some suggestions about what you should do next. So if you guys need me, please reach out. And thank you, TikTok, for joining me today. If you need me, reach out, send me a message. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, please reach out if you need me. I am always available. Leave me a comment or just reach me at the bottom of the screen. Hair Loss Center, NJ.com is the website, and you can always call me 609-710-8102. And I thank you so much for joining me. And Miss Tyra says, someone brought me Mary Ruth's gut health supplements, so I must get busy. Yes, you should. And I'm going to be checking back in with you too to see how you're doing. You have to take them, but make sure you're taking pre and probiotics. If it's just probiotics, you need prebiotics, or finish that and then get something with both, such as this here. And these are the same price as it is on Amazon, so you don't have to worry about, oh my God, it sounds expensive. The same price it is on Amazon, it's the same price it's on my website. And you'll probably see some other things that you like, such as hair growth topicals, shampoos, anything, other health products. You can order them with a couple other things, so you can just get more than just the prebiotics. So I thank everyone for joining me today. If you guys have any questions, please reach out. My number again, 609-710-8102. Pre and probiotics. Pre, pro, and post. Yes, ma'am. But I was just talking about pre and pro today. So if any of you need me, please reach out. I'm always a phone call and a click away. Hope you're having a wonderful day on purpose. See you soon.